What it do, T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade Belle Collective Season 3 Reunion Part 2. So we begin with the Bells backstage in their dressing rooms. And Latrice is in her room talking to her glam squad and everything. And she's saying that, yeah, she may be the youngest, but she got the most money and she ain't jealous of none of them and all of this, that, and the third. So we then go into Letitia's dressing room. Glenn is in there. Her glam squad is in there. And Letitia says, Latrice told me once, the fans love me and you. All we have to do to win and beat the other girls is plant a seed of doubt. And I see her doing that as I watch the episodes. Glenn says a queen don't get off her throne to chase a snake. Now, you know he got that snake line from Latrice's own husband. Catch. Then he says, you and Latrice are two different caliber of women. Continue to be who you are. Trust me, she will self-destruct because she's full of evil. Now, I'm wondering how this going to play out between their friendship that he feels so harshly about one of his close partners' wife. But at the end of the day, it can be argued that, Cliff, you said the same thing about your wife, that she's sneaky, she a snake. You didn't call her worse. So I want to see how strong their friendship going to be going into season 4. And I can see Latrice saying that to Letitia. I can. And I can even see Letitia like, yeah, girl, I agree. Because the way she rode for Latrice these first couple of seasons, despite everything that was going on between Latrice and Marie, spoke volumes to me about where her loyalty really honestly lied. And it seemed like it was with Latrice more so than Marie. So the cast goes back on stage and it's Marie's segment, and she makes a comment about how she clock in for work every time. And so Carlos was like, well, who you feel don't? And she was like, Tamara doesn't, and Latrice just started. I agree. Tamara really don't bring much to the show. It's like she show up to the scenes, you know, just sit there and laugh with a hat on and that, you know, that pink lipstick. You know, like she's like really evasive with what she shares. Like you don't know what's real and what's fake with her. So I get why Marie said that. We then find out that Tamara Baby has her last name and not Damon's. And she says it's because they weren't married at the time. And so Carlos was like, you married now? And she hesitated. And then was like, no. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Everything is a reveal and a surprise with her. It's like, if y'all married, y'all married. But don't sit up here and talk about because we weren't married and all of this stuff is the reason why you didn't give your daughter this man's last name. Y'all weren't married when you got knocked up. So all this tradition talk that you keep on running with is absolutely deleted at this point. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, is this really Damon Baby? Like, what is going on? You know, in the beginning when Damon came on here, I felt like their relationship was fake. Like, you didn't really know if they were a real couple or not. Then she got pregnant. It made me feel like, okay, this is real. The little girl do look like him, but you never know. It's like, what is going on? Why wouldn't you get his baby her daddy last name? It's all weird with Tamara. Like, weird, bro. So Carlos brings up that Marie revealed Tamara was pregnant while the show was still airing. And I'm guessing that he was talking about the first half of season 3. And Tamara was like, I was upset because production and the network wanted me to keep it quiet. I guess they wanted a big reveal or whatever the case may be. But y'all know I already told y'all she was pregnant months and months ago. So Marie was like, I didn't know her pregnancy was supposed to be a secret. I don't talk to Tamara. We're not friends. Tamara says that when Marie found out about the guy that she met with that was her ex and that this guy was allegedly abusive towards her, that she still didn't care. And they arguing, going back and forth, and Marie was like, they didn't want that whack A story, live your truth. Damon helping you with your storyline. Y'all not even together, so stop lying, live your truth. Show your real life. And with Tamara, I mean, like, I don't know what is true and what is fake, what is a lie, because it's so many unanswered questions when it comes to this lady. Y'all tell me down below in the comment section how y'all feel about Tamra. Do y'all feel like y'all getting everything that we should be getting from her 3 seasons in? Do y'all feel like y'all know her quirks, her personality, her traits, when she lying, when she telling the truth? Because I don't really know about her. Like, she's weird to me, bro. So it's the husband segment, and the guys come out, and for Willie to always be clowning the guys about being country, baby, he couldn't talk about nobody. He looked like he was wearing one of the suits that Denzel Washington and Spike Lee wore in the beginning of Malcolm X. I'm like, where are you going? You going to the doo-wop, shoo-wop, bop? Like, what is happening here? That suit was atrocious. And then he had on sneakers with it that made it look even dustier and dirty. He looked like a crackhead that literally is just been walking around in the outfit that he wore the first night he snorted. He on some Eddie Kane Jr. Nights like this, I wish that raindrops would fall. It was like, Akeisha, why did you let this man wear this? Where did he get this from? The swap meet? Like, nah, you can't talk about nobody outfit. You know you country when JJ looked better than you and more tamer than you. Like, and that's saying a lot when this man had got darn written in his hair with some glue and glitter. Like, what? A mess. So, the Cliff segment pops everything off, and Carlos says, what we saw in bar was Cliff grabbing you and calling you a B. Does he grab you often? And Latrice says, no, he doesn't grab me often. I'm going to be transparent, Carlos. When we argue, we argue. I'm going to take that to mean from in slang terms, when we argue with each other, we go for the jugular. It's probably some throwing stuff, some pushing, some yoking me up type time. That's what I'm taking from that. When we argue, we argue. I'm hitting him. I'm throwing stuff. That's what I'm taking from that. Real toxic, okay, and unacceptable behavior. So, Carlos then says, has he called you the B word before? Latrice hesitates for a second and says, honestly, I do call him a B. And this, I'm just going to point this out. This is what DV victims do. They will put everything on them and blame themselves for the behaviors that are being done to them. And I was so happy that Carlos said, but I didn't ask you that. Does he call you one? She was like, not really. If I call him one, he might rebuttal. I don't believe that at all. No, don't believe that at all. I think that they've gotten comfortable maybe calling each other out their names, but I don't think that it's something that has to be provoked for him to call her that. He was way too comfortable in their parking lot scene for that to be something new in their relationship. I don't believe that at all. And then the hesitation, the body language, him staring her down the whole time. It was just so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. It was really giving Ike and Tina. Literally. Y'all remember that infamous interview that Ike and Tina did? I think it was like with the Tonight Show back in the day or something. And Tina was answering all of the questions for Ike because, you know, Ike don't talk. And it was like she had to be his mouthpiece. And the host even pointed it out. And then at one point you saw Ike like grab her hand to tell her to, you doing too much, shut up. Like, it was giving me that. Like, it was just so uncomfortable. So, Carlos says, are you in an abusive marriage? Latrice says, Carlos, I'm so happy you asked that question. And as soon as she said that, it was given very much rehearsed. I'm just going to be honest. It was given rehearsed, like they practiced what they were going to say. And Latrice says, if a woman is being abused, she's going to try to physically cover up what she's self-conscious about, meaning bruises and things. I didn't really understand the analogy she was trying to give, y'all. I really honestly didn't. Like, I didn't understand what she was trying to say. It seemed to me like she was trying to convey, like, if he was hitting on me, I would be self-conscious and trying to hide my body and things of that nature. And she shows her body on the show. That's what I was taking from what she was saying. But the A word translates to more than just physicality. Mental as well. Emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all marriage is not okay. Period. You've even said your marriage is not okay. So whether he's physically pounding on you, the A word is being done. You know, do I believe that she be cussing him out and going off on him like she say she do? Not really. Not really. I think that I can very well see him being a drunk that goes off on her, yells at her, demeans her, and she sits there and takes it and cries. And please believe he was drunk on that stage. My father is an alcoholic. I know when my father has been drinking, and that's when his speech is slurred to that point. And it was pointed out in the part 1 of this season that Cliff is often drunk. He was drunk AF on that stage. You could barely make out what that man was saying. And I feel sad for Latrice. I really honestly do, because you can tell that it's trouble in that household. So much so. And the body language and the way she was even conveying and saying her words and trying to choose what she said carefully, you can tell that she's uncomfortable. She was trying to protect him. It was bad. It really was bad. She then says, my husband might be old school, but he ain't no damn fool. The fact that these women want to sit here and belittle me and talk about my husband possibly putting his hands on me when we know half the women on this stage is a victim of DA. And Letitia was like, what? And Latrice was like, yeah. And Akeisha say, I'm trying to count up half. Like, I know you ain't talking about me, okay? Do I think that these other ladies have gone through things in their relationships? Absolutely. I can see Marie going through some things in the past. I can very well see Letitia and Glenn going at it. I don't think that Glenn was over there or is whooping on her, but I can so see them. They've been together since they was teenagers. You can't tell me they ain't had incidents where he done pushed her down on a bed, grabbed her, she done pushed him, they done threw stuff. I believe that. Do I think Glenn is over there pounding on her? No. Do I think that Cliff has gotten physical beyond a push or a shove or a grab with her? I don't think that he's punched her or slapped her or anything, but I do think that he has, like I said, grabbed on her, yoked her up probably, pushed her. But I think that his is more with the mouth, because you can look at Latrice and tell that words cut her really deep. And you can tell that's how he got her. It's more up here than it is with the body. And I think that she comes from that space of thinking that pushing and shoving and yoking me up is not DA, and it is. It's unacceptable on either party's part. You know, that's not love. That's not cute. You know, the controllingness of him having to know where she's at, who she's with, all of that is not normal. And she needs to know that, you know? So Carlos says, have any of you ladies heard that he's controlling or that she's in a marriage where she doesn't have a voice? Akeisha says, when I saw what happened at M-Bar, I thought maybe there is some truth to it. Cliff then jumps in the conversation and says, she got a cell phone. She can dial 911. She got her own money if she want to leave me. We've been together for 13 years. If we've been a problem, she would have dialed 911. And like Akeisha said, I know people who've been together for 30 years and ain't never called 911. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And I 1000% do not believe that her money is her money. I think that her money is wrapped up under him. I think that he has control over the finances. I think that his name is on the contracts and everything with her business. He's involved in that business. You're not gonna make me think no different. And so Carlos was like, your wife has said you are controlling. And Cliff says, I think I'm demanding. Tomato, tomato. Okay, girlfriend. So Carlos says, is that why you decided to marry a much younger woman to be able to control? Cliff says she wanted to marry me. I didn't even want to get married, but she was going to leave me. So I said, I got to marry her because I love her. Once again, downgrading her, making it seem like I can do without her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even want her. She wanted me. It was another form of putting her down to me. And even the other couples was like, wow, like they couldn't even keep their face straight. So he says that he doesn't have a tracker on her car. I mean, that question needed to be sent over there to Glenn as well, too. He always popping up. Letitia, when asked by Carlos, has Latrice ever divulged anything about her and Cliff's marriage to her that would be concerning? And I respected the fact that Letitia said anything that we ever talked about while we were friends will stay between us. That was stand up. That was stand up AF, and I appreciate that. But I also feel like she said that because she don't want Latrice telling none of her business. So Cliff says that he regrets calling her a B, and that he took his anger out on Josh on her, but was mad that she went out with him the next day after they had gotten into it. No, I don't believe that at all. We all know he overheard the conversation that Josh and Latrice was having in the room, where Josh was basically telling her, you're not happy, he's controlling, I don't like how he talks to you and all of that. They got into it about it. I don't know if he put Josh out that night or the next. No, it had to be the next day he put Josh out. So the next day, after I didn't argue with you and told you I don't like how this man that we got living in our house talking about me under my roof to my wife about how I talk to you and how I treat you, and you sitting there basically like not going off on him, and then the next day you go out with him and I find out about it. You wasn't taking your anger out on Josh on her. You were mad at both of them. You was mad because Josh was talking crap about you in your house, which anybody would be mad about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to ever take that away. Now, was what he was saying was valid? Very much so. But you were also mad because you felt like your wife was disrespecting you by hanging around the ops. That's exactly how you felt. And I wish he just would have been just straight up honest about that, because you're not going to sit up here and act like you scared of Josh to tell Josh how you feel. We saw that on the stage. You ain't got no problem telling Josh how you feel about anything. So it was that. So nah, bruh. Carlos asks Latrice, is she safe? And she was like, I'm good. I wouldn't trade my life with anyone on this stage because they're going through way worse stuff than they think that I am. And it's like, even if they are, their husband's not exhibiting that behavior on the show except for Glenn, where the following and all of that type of stuff, which is not okay either. And I feel like that conversation should have been had with Letitia as well about her toxic marriage. You know what I'm saying? But JJ and Willie aren't acting like that. So I wish she wouldn't have focused so much on trying to attack them, but focus on her, because it's giving, I'm trying to bait and switch by putting the focus on them so you won't look at me. You know what I'm saying? So Josh joins the cast, and Josh says, I had to get permission from my boss to be here. And Cliff makes a snide comment saying if I was so controlling, he wouldn't be here at all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think the only reason why Josh is still working at that salon and why she has not fired him is not only because they're friends and she cares for him and she loves him, but because he knows the truth and she don't ever want it to ever get out the truth. I think that Josh has seen more than what he said on that stage. So I'm going to keep him close and keep him under my thumb to make sure he don't ever reveal what he truly, truly knows. I think that's the only reason why Josh still works for Latrice. So, Josh says that he felt like Latrice would tell him stuff so he could bring it up to Cliff for her. Cliff scoffs at this, finds it hilarious, and says that a friend wouldn't do what he did. I can see Latrice doing it. I can honestly see her telling him stuff to bring it up around Cliff. So it wouldn't be like directly from her, so she wouldn't catch the wrath. You know what I'm saying? Because I can tell by her body language, she's afraid of him to an extent. She's afraid of Cliff. Yeah, much so. Very much so. He holds the purse strings and everything, and she's afraid of losing the lifestyle that she has. I think and I think that's one of the biggest things that he holds over her head. I don't care how much they like to pretend on that stage that her money is her money. It ain't, because you can tell that girl not happy. If her money was her money, she would not be with that man. Not at all. Period. He mad disrespectful. Ain't the girl? No. And she young, she fit, she pretty. She'll be out here with somebody else with the quickness. Nah. The way he talk, the little snide stuff he say about other women, like, nah, bruh, you ain't gonna make, I done lived too long to not see the signs. I saw the signs. So Carlos says, you live with them. Have you ever seen anything that you would be concerned for the safety of Latrice? And he says, no. The only thing I don't like is the way he talks to her. I don't believe that. I think that he saw more of the grabbing, maybe pushing, and I think that he's seen Cliff call her out her name and talk to her bad, especially when he drunk. And I think that he didn't really want to go into full detail on the things that he's heard this man say to her. Let's not forget her other homegirl that was backstage in the dressing room when he came up there to M-Bar. That's who she was with. The girl was just sitting there like, like, this wasn't nothing new to her. You know what I'm saying? Bruh. So Josh says that he didn't know Cliff had an issue with him until M-Bar. And that he didn't even get the opportunity to, to speak his piece or, make things right between him and Cliff, because he said Cliff kept on telling him that night to get the F out his face. So Cliff apologizes to him for the way he spoke to him. And Carlos asks, does he accept the apology? And he was like, I don't know. And then he finally says no, because I just feel like he's just doing it right now for the show, pretty much. And Cliff was like, I'm a straight up guy. If I tell you something, you better believe it. When I tell you what I'm going to do, you need to be running. And it was like little things like that. And that's what abusers do. They slip in little threats, veiled threats on you. And you saw like his eyes, Josh's eyes, like dark, like this. He just threatened me. Like, okay. So Carlos says, do you feel like you owe him an apology? And Josh was like, I tried to. Cliff was like, how you tried to? Now, mind you, this is what Cliff said. How you try to apology and can't do it? I ain't never seen nobody try to apology and can't do it. I'm right here. This man can't even talk right. Apology? Oh, my God. My God. I bet you if they would have gave him a breathalyzer, he would have failed miserably. Josh was like, Cliff, shut up. You can't control me like you do Latrice. I've tried to apologize. Cliff says, you can say, Cliff, I'm sorry. And Josh was like, I'm not going to say it right now. Because you could tell emotionally he shut down already at that point. And if he would apologize in that moment, it wouldn't have been genuine. So I respect the fact that he didn't apologize in that moment. Cliff was like, it's not in his heart to apologize. That's why he won't do it. So Latrice was like, I don't think it's fair to me how they put me in the middle of this, because I feel like I have to choose between my best friend and my husband. I know the love that they have for each other, like I've seen it. And Cliff says, what the F? And Latrice looks at him, was like, not like that. Like, why would you even have to clarify that it's not like that? Which makes me feel like there is some homophobia when it comes to Cliff. Because when he said, what the F like that, you saw Josh wilt in that chair. The longer that segment went on, the more he went from like this to like this to like this to like this. It was so sad to watch. So sad to watch. So Cliff was like, yeah, high and by, that was the extent of our relationship. And so Josh was like, you are so fake. You are fake. And Carlos even points out how they've seen the three of them laughing and kikiing with each other. It's way more than just a high and by that they all shared with each other. So Cliff was like, okay, we had a little relationship. We're friendly like a puppy. You play with a puppy. He ain't made it to a dog yet. And you heard Tisha in the background was like, he a human. Like, why are you comparing this grown man to a puppy, a dog, whatever? And I felt like with that sentiment, with a man like Cliff, what he was saying was he doesn't even look at Josh like a grown man. He look at him like a little boy. I don't think that he looks at him like a man, period, because he's gay and he's effeminate. And the fact that he tried to downplay their friendship, I think really, truly hurt Josh, because it came across, Cliff then said, me and Glenn have grown into a dog relationship. The big boy stuff. And that's when Josh teared up, because like I said, I felt like Josh felt like in that moment when he was denying their friendship, that he was denying their friendship because he's gay. And you don't want to be associated with being friends with somebody that's gay. And you point out that you and Glenn have this adult dog relationship, but me, I'm a puppy. Somebody that's, just kneeling around. It was very, once again, degrading. It was degrading. It was 1000% degrading. And the fact that Latrice just sat there and didn't stick up for him, I think really hurt him too as well. But that was when he'd had it at that point. Josh, he was done. And so he tears up, and Carlos says to Willie, what does that mean? And Willie was like, nope, I don't even, nope. My name is Bennett and I ain't in it. Because can't nobody even understand what this man is saying. So Carlos tries to get them to reconcile, but Josh was like, I'm not going to be pushed into doing it. I'm not comfortable. I don't want to right now. So he says that he doesn't think it will go back to the way it used to be. He says, me and Latrice don't have a problem with each other. We work with each other. We don't communicate like we used to, and that's perfectly fine, but I'm good. And he's not good. It's obvious he misses his friendship. It's obvious that a line was drawn in the sand after the M-Bar incident, where, of course, she chose her husband over her friend. And you can continue to work for me, but I can't tell you no more of my business. You don't need to get in my business. And I also feel like I said earlier, Latrice is keeping him close to keep her real life hidden behind closed doors. So, and I think that Latrice was very sad. I think that she misses his friendship, but she can't be his friend anymore because her husband won't allow it, period. So Carlos says, I really don't think it's that deep. I think this is something that y'all can work through. And I hate that he kept on saying that. I really don't think that it's that deep, because it is that deep. When you see your friend being mistreated in that way. I've sat back and seen my friend be DV'd and how it affected not only her, but our friendship. That's a horrifying thing to sit back and see somebody being demoralized and mistreated and hit on and spoken to badly, and you can't help or do anything about it, and that person isn't willing to even help themselves. So it is that deep. And then it's even that deep when you then, not only are you disrespecting my friend, but now you're disrespecting me. And I've been in that position too, where my best friend, boyfriend attacked me physically. You know what I'm saying? And so he might not have attacked Josh physically, but he's attacked Josh verbally. And I'm up here trying to be your friend and save you and protect you, and you won't do the same for me? Wow. So it is that deep. And I wish that Carlos would have thought about it in that way instead of downplaying it like, y'all can get over this. Y'all can go back to being Three's Company. No, you cannot. No, we cannot. So they cut for another break. And as soon as they cut, Josh breaks down crying. Carlos tries to comfort him. Akeisha immediately gets up and goes over to him. And Akeisha is whispering to him, saying the conversation y'all need to have cannot be done on this show. And you know that. We talked about this before you even got here. And that is another reason why I think Akeisha knows the truth. I think that he's told Akeisha some things about what he's seen and heard in that house, or period. And that's why she said, you know, you cannot have that conversation on this show. You know that. We talked about that. And the fact that Latrice didn't get up immediately and go to him also showed me that there is a lot of control over there. So she finally gets up, and you can tell the behaviors of a abused woman. She went into character. Soon as she got up. Come on, Josh. Come on. You can't be messing up your makeup like that. Meanwhile, she's crying herself. You can't be messing up your makeup like that, honey, in front of these cameras. You know, looking at the camera to see who's still watching them, because she's watching and being very wise with the words that she's choosing to say. Child, y'all better get with it. Y'all better get with it and see things for what they are. You could be a Latrice fan all you want to. I like Latrice. I don't like her ways, but I can see the A word from a mile away in that relationship. And it's hard to watch. It really honestly is. It really truly is. And I pray that she gets the courage and the support that she needs to leave that situation, because it's not healthy. She's not happy at all. It's written all over her face, her body language, the way she speaks, the quivers in her lips, the fidgeting that she constantly does. Because if I look good on the outside, my hair is done, wig is laid, makeup slayed, you know what I'm saying? I got the baddest outfit on. But you can look in her eyes and tell that that girl is downtrodden on the inside. And none of the best of the best on the outside will not cover that up. Never. And like I said, once again, he ain't got to be physically tearing you up. He tearing you up here and in here. And that takes longer to heal from than a slap or a punch any day. Any day. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this week's reunion part 2 of Belle Collective. Let's talk about it down below in the comment section, you guys. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. And if you guys know anybody that is in a toxic relationship, whether it be physical, emotional, spiritual, try to get them help. Be a listening ear, and don't be afraid to speak up. Whether you feel like it could end a friendship or a relationship or whatever, speak up. Because sometimes people don't want to acknowledge what's happening because they're pretending that it's not. And then when somebody forces them to acknowledge it, sometimes that could be the wake-up call. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.